Morning, guys, on Matthew chapter 10, reading from verse 34 to 42. We're looking at this aspect of peace versus persecution, unity versus division. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. He loves unity. He hates division. Yet, because the world is at odds with Christians and against God, against Jesus, there's going to be persecution, there's going to be disunity, there's going to be a lack of peace in that sense. He promises peace to the believers, and he wants the believers to be in unity. However, our households, businesses, wherever we go, because that light will shine and illuminate the darkness, it's going to bring an opposition. So he says in verse 34, do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Because he's not of this earth, he's not of this kingdom. And so when he steps into it, there's going to be a lot of opposition, and therefore he's bringing the sword. For I came to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So here's Jesus saying, I've come to set these things apart. And that's because darkness and light cannot mix. This is taken from a quote from Micah 7 verse 6, where Micah is saying that there's no, the world is full of evil men shedding blood, there's division and hatred. And so even within a household, if there's a believer there and an unbeliever, there's going to be a conflict, because the two cannot have fellowship with one another. Verse 36, and a man's enemies will be the members of his household. Unfortunately, even today we're going to have unbelievers in our homes, and we mustn't be surprised when there's conflict in the home because of Jesus. Verse 37, he who loves his mother, his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And so we're getting to some really difficult, challenging verses here, where this division is going to come, and we're going to have a choice. Are we going to choose God or our family? We do love our family, and a lot of people put their family first. But at the end of the day, are we willing to put Jesus first in everything, including our family? Are we willing to lay our lives down for him? Because if we do that, we're proving that truly we are his disciple, and then one day he will never deny us if we don't deny him. He who loves his father and mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. And this is the first mention of the cross, and the cross represents death. So who is not willing to daily die for Jesus is not worthy of him. It's quite a strong statement as the previous one. And this is a common theme of carrying the cross. So this is mentioned later on, Mathew 16. Then Jesus told his disciples, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Luke 19:23. If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever who would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. And so in 39 of Matthew 10 he says exactly the same thing. He who has found his life will lose it, and he who has lost his life for my sake will find it. And so God's asking us to give up everything, including our family, to follow him and put him first and make him Lord of our lives. Verse 41, he who receives a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward, and he who receives a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whoever in the name of a disciple gives to one of these little ones even a cup of cold water to drink, truly I say to you, he shall not lose his reward. And so there is going to be division, but if we are those who accept God's children and God's people, and we entertain them, we are hospitable to the people of God, there is a blessing that follows. And if we oppose God's people, just like the Abrahamic covenant says, if you bless the Jews, you get blessed. Those nations that curse them will be cursed. In the same way, when we support the people in ministry, when we help them, there's a blessing that follows. And we see this, many examples of this. We see this with Elijah and Zarephath, that widow who welcomes him in, feeds him, gives him water, and the blessings that come out of it. Her oil doesn't dry up. The Shunammite woman supporting Elisha, and then she was then later blessed with a son. And so as we receive God's people, there's a blessing that comes. But don't forget, there's a division as well, and there's also a sword that comes as we stand for Jesus.